Hey guys, what is going on? Back here for another game review, and by the way, before I continue on, my apologies that this review is a little bit late, but just to let you all know, this month I have a lot more game reviews coming, so buckle up guys. For today's review, I'm going to be talking about the latest PlayStation console exclusive, and that is Kena Bridge of Spirits. Not Kenya Bridge of Spirits like I thought it was pronounced. It is pronounced as Kena Bridge of Spirits. Developed by Ember Lab, and apparently this is the studio's first game. So I was very excited and curious to see how this animation studio would do on their first game. Also, before I continue on, just to let you all know, the footage that you're seeing is captured on a PS5. I was very excited, and my buddy Mr. Garrison has been itching to play this game. Now that I've completed the game, how was it? Kena Bridge of Spirits was a great time and a charming adventure. Getting into the plot. In Kena Bridge of Spirits, we follow, well, Kena, a spirit guide who uses her abilities to help the deceased move on to the spirit world. Kena travels to an abandoned village in hopes of finding the sacred mountain shrine. Along the way, she meets her companions known as the Rot, and then she meets this powerful masked warrior who has corrupted the entire forest. She insists that she can help the spirit move on, but that spirit refuses. Before she can reach the shrine, she is told that she must help the trapped spirits move on. Starting with everything I liked, let's get into the graphics and art direction. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a beautiful looking game, and something that I want to point out. There's parts of the game has cinematic graphics, and there's the end-game graphics. The cinematic graphics are astoundingly beautiful. It feels like you're watching something that DreamWorks would have produced, and it really feels like you're watching a movie. The in-game graphics look terrific too. Now, there's two different graphics modes. There's Fidelity mode, where the game is at 4K and 30 frames per second. Then there's Performance mode, where the game is in checkerboarded 4K and the game is at 60 FPS. I'm showing this footage in Fidelity mode, but both graphics modes look great. The gorgeous color palette, character designs, and the rot and even the smaller details look great, especially the cinematic graphics. I mean, I was blown away by just how the cinematic graphics looked. The narrative is something that I really dug too. The narrative isn't amazing, but the narrative is a straightforward one with layers that slowly peel back as you continue to play. The narrative kind of felt like a solid Pixar film, and I mean a solid one, like let's say Monsters University, or let's just say somewhere around the points of, let's say, Onward. At times, I'm not gonna lie to you all, the narrative had this emotional undercurrent that caught me off guard, especially with the Rod. One of my favorite aspects about the game was the world itself. The way that Ember Lab sets up things with the characters and the world building, I thought was genius. It's a world that I'd honestly love to see continue to be explored in a sequel. It answers some questions while bringing up more by the time the game is done. The best part is, even when you're done with the main story and you didn't get to explore everything, you can still go around to the areas you didn't even get to see while you're playing with the main story. And did I mention this is an open world game? Gotta say, Ember Lab, for your first title, really impressed here. I mean, really impressed. Another thing that I really dug, well, for the most part, was the gameplay. In particular with the exploration, combat, and the rot. As you go through certain parts of the game, you'll find that you won't be able to access those areas until you either explore just a little bit more, or to come back with more abilities. I found that the exploration was really rewarding, and on my second playthrough, I found even more areas that I didn't even notice on my first time playing this game. With the combat, it's a combination of a Soulsborne game with a mix of button mashing. At first, this might seem a bit repetitive. However, there are abilities that you acquire throughout the game, and you find some very creative ways now to take out the monsters. The combat can be refreshingly challenging as well. It's not on the level of, let's say, Dark Souls hard to the point where you almost want to throw your controller against the wall, but it's challenging just enough. Now, speaking of the Rot, I really love the way the Rot is not only used for puzzle solving, but for exploration and for combat as well. And I really grew to love the Rod, and they're just too darn adorable for words. I mean, seriously, the things are just, you just want to grab them and hug them, just going like, get over here, little guys. I also really dug the puzzle solving too. The puzzles range from very easy to ones that make you think, wait, oh, that's how that works. And not to mention that it all felt very creative. Even the ones that were really easy, you'll have those aha moments. One more thing that I want to mention is the music. The musical score I absolutely love. It had this very epic feel with a terrific orchestra that gave me goosebumps, and one of the things I absolutely love with the music was how it plays into certain parts of the story and the exploration. One of the things I loved with the music is how you clear up the corruption in an area. You get this beautiful cue that every time I heard it, I got goosebumps galore. Moving on to a particular aspect that I was a bit mixed on, the overall design of the game. A reviewer from Kinda Funny had described this game as a game with the design of a PS2 game, which is both a good and a bad thing. In some aspects, the game design does feel a tad bit outdated, but more than most of the time, it felt like a really good game from the PS2 generation, and it was thankfully more good than bad, but I still couldn't help but feel that some of the design felt a tad bit outdated. Now moving on to the things I was a bit on. Starting off with the main character, Kana. It's not that she is a bad character per se, but I feel like we barely got to know her. The world and the characters surrounding Kana I really liked, but I just felt that Kana wasn't explored nearly enough. Don't get me wrong, Kana is a badass, but I just wish we got to know her. Hopefully we will for the sequel. Seriously, make a freaking sequel, guys, because I love the world that much. Next is the platforming. This was probably the most frustrating element of the game for me. I love the exploration of the world, but sometimes getting into a specific place was a pain. You'd be making a jump and you know you just timed it just right, but somehow you're always off by just that much. I could think of many times where I missed a ledge because of this. A simple ledge because of this. One thing I wanted to mention was the customization of the rod. Throughout the game, you collect these hats you can put on the rod, whether it's a baseball cap. Yes, there's baseball caps, I'm not kidding. It's a nice idea, and you can customize each rod with a specific hat, and I did try out the idea once. But after I looked into it once, I never really found myself going back and playing around with it. The features felt like it was just there just for the sake of, hey, here's another game feature, and it's a nice idea, do not get me wrong, to give each specific rod maybe its own personality, but at the same time, the hats just felt like they were just there for the sake of it. Earlier on in the game, when it came to the cinematic graphics, there were at least 1 or 2 times the frame rate did dip, but that's all I wanted to mention in terms of that. Overall, I had a great time with Kana Bridge of Spirits. It was a really charming and fun adventure, and considering that this is the studio's first game, it impresses me that much more. Ember Lab put a lot out there for their first title, and I gotta say, I thought they did a really good, if not a great job. All in all, I'm gonna give Kana Bridge of Spirits an 8 out of 10. This is a world that I love to see more from, and I'm very excited to see what Ember Lab does next. Seriously, Ember Lab, for your first game, great job, guys. So comment down below and let me know. Have you guys played Kana Bridge of Spirits? What did you all think? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat, so if y'all want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the usernames are in the description below. That's going to wrap it up for my review of Kana Bridge of Spirits. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video game review of mine goes live. If y'all want to see my previous 2 video game reviews, please click to the left or right side of the screen. And of course, until my next video game review, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.